The conference itself owns this, right? And the conference needs to decide whether we're actually serious about spending. And they talk about, well, we got to do mandatory spending reform and bend the curve. But we just voted on a $200 billion shift of dollars in Social Security that's going to shorten the time when Social Security expires or goes bankrupt. We're just fundamentally unserious about spending. And as long as you got a blank check, you can't shrink government. If you can't shrink government, you can't live free.
I don't disagree with anything I heard there. Joining me now, my fellow spending, I don't even know if I want to call her a guru. We're just frustrated. Tiana Doescher, columnist for the Washington Examiner. Tiana, my wish list is that we actually just see, I'm not even greedy anymore. I'm so beaten down. Look, it's caused all my hair to fall out. I just want a dollar cut. I want a dollar of genuine cuts, not a reduction in the spending increases. I'll settle for $1 before the day I die, and that'll be a win at this point in time.
Yeah, we are fundamentally unserious. I agree with that about cutting spending. And a part of that is you get what you pay for, right? Donald Trump ran on we aren't touching entitlements. And that means that you get a 23% benefit cut in Social Security in about 9 years. That's just the reality. Now, Doge is great as a concept to go after waste. There are things in discretionary spending that we are wasting, but it doesn't really change the fundamental calculus, which is that in an aging society where no one is having kids, and when, a lot of the illegal immigrants that we have imported over the last 4 years are simply not working, they are not working in nearly kind of the way that immigrants in previous generations have, of course we're just going to be bleeding the welfare state dry. And it's a problem that neither party really pretends to have the solution for anymore, so at least we're liberated from the delusion.
Yeah, that's probably what frustrates me the most is the cowardice of it all. I'm not even worried about the communists. I know what they are. But the losers in the low-T GOP, many of these people know exactly what the solution is. They just lack the balls to actually say it. People love to hand things out. They love to run on, I'm going to sell you this, I'm going to give you this and give you that, and I'm going to hand this out to you. But nobody likes to run on, I'm going to start slashing and burning things. It's part of why I get frustrated with the Elon Vivek thing. It sounds great. I'm all on board, but it's Congress's job to do these things. I don't need some tech billionaire to come in. That's why I elected you dorks.
And this is why the Senate majority, the new incoming Senate majority leader, John Thune, and House Freedom Caucus Republicans deciding they want to punt the tax bill down the line, it's cowardice. And worse than that, from a political perspective, it's dooming them to a certain defeat. So this is what's going on right now here in the swamp, the things that they don't want you to understand. So in Congress, the last time a political party has passed 2 bills in reconciliation, that is with just a 50-50 vote, right, in the Senate and the House, that was in 1997, when House Republicans under Newt Gingrich had a much larger margin. This time around, what they want to do is they want to pass a border bill that would probably be only a couple $1 billion if you look at H.R. 2, which was Mike Johnson's border bill. So not super expensive, or Kevin McCarthy's border bill, not super expensive. They want to pass that, and they want to wait on the tax bill. Well, what's going on with the tax bill? So Donald Trump's individual tax cut provisions from 2017 are due to expire at the end of next year. So if you wait to punt that bill and you don't actually get those tax cuts extended, not only have you not cut taxes, which is what half of all Americans said should be prioritized in a new Fox News poll, but also you just increased the taxes of 62% of Americans at the beginning of a midterm year. And to your point about spending cut, I completely agree that every tax cut has to be paid for. But we have so much low-hanging fruit that this is the opportunity to do it. Extending those individual provisions are maybe $2 trillion. It's very easy without even going into what we could undo from Biden administration. So the SALT deduction, that is the state and local tax deduction, which allows wealthy people in blue states with no fiscal responsibility to deduct $10,000 of the state and local taxes that they owe to Gavin Newsom or to Gretchen Whitmer or to, Kathy Hochul. What we could do is we could just eliminate that. Trump capped it at $10,000. We could eliminate it. We could also eliminate the mortgage interest rate deduction, which makes it so that way if you're a wealthy person with a $750,000 mortgage, you can write off and deduct some of that. We could eliminate this as well. And other economists have showed that if you eliminate that, it increases the supply of housing, and we currently have a housing crisis. Instead, blue state Republicans want to increase these deductions. So we have these easy ways of paying for the individual tax cuts, and instead you have rhino Republicans that want to increase these deductions.
Tiana, how do we change this? Like the American people went out and they clearly rejected what they saw over the last 4 years this November. But you and I both know how this works. People get caught up in presidential mania and MAGA this and Trump that. But then now that we won that enthusiasm has historically waned, to put it mildly. Come the midterm elections, when it comes primary season, all that mega energy just kind of goes to college football or whatever's going on at the time. How do we change that?
This is an opportunity for Republicans to spend their political capital on something lasting. Nancy Pelosi knew that she was making half of her caucus walk the plank when they passed Obamacare. And they did, right? Republicans then blew out the House after Democrats forced in Obamacare. But Obamacare is still the law of the land. Sometimes that's what political capital exists for. And if you get one big bill that increases border funding, but more importantly, more than the funding, everyone knows it's just reallocating the resources that are already there to construct the wall and mandate more deportations and stop the bogus asylum claims. If you include that by including the individual tax cuts, making them permanent, making wealthy blue states pay for them in the form of eliminating these two deductions I've talked about, then you can go into the grab bag of reversing Bidenomics, right? According to the nonpartisan, left-leaning Consumer Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, they point out $3 trillion in offsets that Republicans can use in just overturning Biden's executive actions and repealing the Inflation Reduction Act's green energy subsidies. So we could get a deficit-reducing bill. That is better than anything that's on the table right now. But it's because they just want an easy win. That's what everyone's saying. That's what Thune is saying. That's what the House Freedom Caucus is saying. And so, sometimes with the House Freedom Caucus, they like to dress up in MAGA, put on the hat. But when push comes to shove, you just want to pass an easy bill, and you don't want to do the hard work of telling blue states, no, we're going to make your residents pay their fair share. And you know what? If that results in a tax increase because they need to pay the bill for Gavin Newsom that they've been voting for, tough.
Amen. Tiana, you're the best. Come back soon. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.